What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Hustle and Muscle podcast. I am your host, Kristen Graham, aka I'm still just the hustle.
Just the hustle, yeah. And I am your I'm also the host, Kristen, and I am the muscle.
Yeah, fittest of the coast in South Carolina muscle.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Professional strong woman muscle.
Yeah, but you're still just the hustle.
Yeah. So we have an exciting episode. We have our, before we get into who we have on this show, let's go through our sponsors for the show.
Yes. Like we had on last week, PJ Braun from Blackstone Labs, Tough Wraps, Fit Fine Wine,
and Island Bar and Grill
Surfside.
In Surfside, South Carolina. And we've talked about the Bushaw family, our friend Brandon, who owns Island Bar and Grill, and he's a friend of ours.
His wife, Cynthia.
And yeah, him and Cynthia. And
Not
they are friends of ours. You've seen them on our Instagram. You've seen them on our YouTube channel. And we've been to his fights in the past. So we're going to learn a little bit more about Brandon tonight. He is our guest, so we're going to bring him in live now. So if you guys have any questions in the chat, make sure you start sending them in. I know we got a couple already coming in. If you have any questions along the way, keep sending them in, and we'll try to get to some of them at the end of the night. So this should be good. Let's bring him in. Mr. Brandon Bushaw, everybody. Are you excited for this next 6-hour episode?
I am. I can't wait. I brought my water, so I'm solid.
Perfect. So for those of you out there that are people that are watching this and they don't know who you are, let's hear a little bit about who you are, who Brandon is today.
First and foremost, I'm just a normal family man. You know, I'm married to my wife, Cynthia, and 2 kids, Kellen and Aria. And, that's my main focus in life, but I stay busy. Cynthia and I own a bar, as you mentioned, in Surfside since 2004 that we've had a lot of fun with. I recently started selling real estate with my sister and brother-in-law about a year ago, a little more than a year ago now. And I am still cage fighting. So keeping the dream alive at the ripe age of 39. So I have my 24th fight, my 12th professional fight coming up this Saturday. So yeah, man, I'm staying busy and I love it every second of it.
Now you are in Myrtle Beach, but that's not where you're from, correct?
That's right. From Maine originally.
The Northeast.
Yeah, I know. So go to where you're from and then keep going like 8 hours. And that's where I'm from. So yeah, Cynthia and I grew up in Maine until college.
So you're married to a girl from your home state. How long did you guys actually know each other?
We met in middle school. So I don't want to date myself, but it was a long time ago. So yeah.
There's like high school sweethearts. You guys were like kissing behind the bleachers in the playground during recess.
Yeah. Yep. Behind the dock at the lake while Cynthia's dad was looking the other way. What's up, guys?
You know he's watching.
Yeah, of course. He can't figure out YouTube, but we'll show it to him.
So you're an athlete. What was sports like growing up? Was your family, your parents like into like being athletic and getting into sports, or what was like your little kid childhood like? Yeah,
I mean, I was blessed with parents. I don't think my mom and dad missed a practice, a game, anything. You know, my dad was a lumberjack, so he was in the woods cutting them down. If we had a game, he was there my whole life. And when I was way up in northern Maine, Little League didn't start till I was 9 years old, and I convinced him to let me play at 7. And just sports have been a part of my life my entire life. And the support from the family is where it all started. And I couldn't be more thankful. I mean, when I left, my parents would travel 1,000 miles to watch me wrestle 2 matches and then spend the night and travel home. So yeah, and it's cool. And my dad still shows up to my practices now at my age, which is, it's a cool thing. And I don't take it for granted at all.
Yeah. And that's like, I think too, with like us, with like our daughter is, at this age, she's 9 years old, but it's like, I think it's so important to get kids like involved in everything so they can start to not only build like social skills, but like kind of figure out what they like put them in everything. And they're going to quickly weed out like the things they don't like, and then the things that they do like. And I think it kind of like builds a lot of character and development for a kid. So I think that's really important.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and my daughter, Aria, I know she's watching. So we put her in everything. And the deal is whatever you want to try, you try it. You have to finish that season. even if you hate it. The thing is, you try, and when you're done, you give it your all. If you're like, you know what, flag football is not my thing, cool. But you got to see it through to the end.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how it started for her. She didn't like it at first, and now she's kind of thriving and she digs it. So I agree with you. We put them in everything from dance to ballet and gymnastics and see what shakes out. And that's kind of how you find yourself, I think.
So you ended up leaving Maine and went to college, right? What did you?
Yeah.
Let's talk about like college life. So like, where did you go? What did you do? And what did you study?
So I left Maine. It was very hard to do, and I had it narrowed down between Old Dominion, West Point, which would have been a whole different life, and Michigan State. And I wanted to wrestle in the Big Ten, so took a leap of faith, and I left Maine, went out by myself, and wrestled at Michigan State, and man, had some great years, some ups and downs, and but I went there and met a ton of new people. I didn't know what I wanted to study at first. I thought I wanted to do kinesiology, and I realized being an athlete and trying to get all the lab time in didn't really go hand in hand. So I ended up getting my degree in communications, advertising, and yeah, so that's what I have my bachelor degree in.
What did you wrestle weight class wise? I know like it's hard to like kind of judge somebody based on their size, based like looking at you with no frame of reference. So, like, what did you wrestle at in college?
So I got recruited to wrestle 125, and this is when all the weight cutting rules started being put in place. So when I got there, there had been somebody had passed away cutting weight the year before. So when I got there, they started doing hydration tests where you had to get down, check your fat percentage, and be hydrated. And the lowest I could get to was 128. So I ended up wrestling 133 while I was in school.
So you just said that somebody actually passed away when you were wrestling?
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
You kind of like rolled right over that one like real quick. I mean, you don't have to get into those details, but
that's scary though, because I know even just for me, my weight cuts like they suck. There's no other way to say it. They really suck sometimes. So I can't even imagine getting to that point. That's crazy.
And how tall are you at one? You said you wrestled at 125. So how tall were you?
Yeah, I mean, I think I peaked a long time ago. So I was tall for 125. I was like 5'8", 5'7". Okay. So I didn't, and I was long and lanky, which is weird because in everyday life, I am not tall or long. But wrestling at that weight class, I would wrestle kids that are 5'4" and just this, huge.
Right.
And all of a sudden I'm long, and it's a really totally different thing. But yeah,
so
I'm
if
still
you wrestled
5'8".
at 125, what would you like walk around at? Like, do you wrestle like weekly in college? How's that work? Like, how often?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you wrestle weekly, and then if it's a 2-day tournament, you still have to weigh in the second day. So we had to all season. We had to weigh in for practices. So we had to be within 8 pounds. I mean, I guess you don't have to be. You were supposed to be within 8 pounds. So if when I was wrestling 133, we'd weigh in before practice, and I was supposed to be right around 141. That way, if anytime they called your number, you needed to get there. You weren't trying to do a 20-pound cut where you could potentially hurt yourself. And then once dual season started, we had to be 5 pounds outside of our weight. So it kind of gave you an idea of how to diet and make a lifestyle, not crash weight cuts.
That's actually not a terrible idea. I mean, I'm sure it's not ideal for the student who wanted to make that big weight cut, but it is a lot healthier from a nutritionist standpoint for you to be within 5 pounds and make it a lifestyle as opposed to a crash course.
Yeah, I mean, it was just a moderately miserable lifestyle instead of extremely miserable points of your lifestyle. So, yeah, I mean, that's, and I carry that on now, or when I first started fighting, I do these crazy weight cuts and found that I felt like absolute crap in the cage. And so you have to make a commitment to your nutrition and your water intake and everything for quite a while leading up to the fight. So you can perform at a high level.
Now, is that how high school is now? Is there like, do they monitor like the kids in high school as to what they weigh going into fights? I don't even know how it works now in high school or.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure. I know it's a lot different and it's a lot more technologically advanced than it was back when I was doing it. It was kind of a free for all. So I know that, there are kids that are training around where I train that have to hit certain, they have to weigh in at certain marks. Even if they want to wrestle 130, they got to weigh in at like 125 if they ever plan on wrestling at 125. Like there's certain, you know, but
because I think when I was in high school, like I could have sworn, I remember I had friends that were like wrestlers, and I could have sworn they were in like
sauna suits
in the
bags.
sauna, like spitting into cups and like doing these extreme things where I was just like, it was like in history class, spitting into a bucket.
That must mean we're all old.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, we are. I know. I lived that life. Yeah, I mean, that's totally. That's totally.
Oh my God! Muscle! Yeah, Brandon! Yeah! We love you guys.
I had a feeling something was going to happen.
That's really funny because Tripp is actually in the comments. Oh my God, I know him.
I'm glad I don't have my gun in here. Right?
Right.
Yeah, right.
The shit out of me.
I can drive it over to you real quick. We can finish him off.
So I happen to live in the hood. But yeah. So anyway, I digress. I'm gonna kill him. You see the black eye you gave my daughter, by the way?
What's he?
Yeah.
What an ass.
He needs to get a smack in the mouth at some point, I think.
We'll give him one. But yeah, so back to ice. Yeah, no, I lived that life, cutting weight in trash bags and spitting, chewing gum. I think the biggest reason why, and still the culprit, was lack of education on what we're putting in our body. I remember thinking, wow, you know, I'm within a pound. This bag of chips only weighs 4 ounces. I can eat the whole thing.
Yeah.
Not realizing what sodium does and retaining water. We just didn't know, you know, and it was a different time back then. I think a lot of people didn't know. So, you know, we're killing ourselves to pull water weight when we're eating what's keeping the water in. I wish I could go back, you know, I'm sure a lot of people do, but man, there was so many better ways to do it.
Like a lot of the different documentaries, even like with UFC now, and it's like there's a couple different mindsets of when a fighter's approaching a fight and they have a lot of weight to lose, or they have not a lot of weight to lose, but maybe they're already lean, so it's hard to get out those last 10 pounds or whatever it is. And some people seem to hold their walk around weight up until the fight, and then they lose it all as fast as they can. And then there's some people who progressively step down as they approach their fight. Do you think one of those is better than the other?
That's a good question.
Yeah, no, it's a great question. For me, it works better for me leaning out earlier on. I know a lot of people, they want to put all the weight back on, you know, and weighing at 145 and then be 168 when you fight. To me, that doesn't matter nearly as much. I would rather only weigh 153 when I'm fighting 145 and be quicker and feel good. When I do those crash diets, I just don't think 24 hours is enough time for your body to fully recover. So my weight number, and I've talked to Kristen about this, like my number will stay higher because I'm water loading now, and I never used to do that. So I might still be 18 pounds over 2 weeks out, or, 10 days out. But really, I have so much water in me that I'm not that far off. It's kind of a mental battle. It's like, okay, I know I'm not still 163. I know I'm like 152. Like I can feel it, but the number isn't right. So I think it's about learning your body, whatever.
And I think even with water loading, you'll say more than I do. There's like an art to it, like a science.
There is.
To
And
it.
I know for me, I weigh myself, and I don't know how often you weigh yourself, but I do this daily just because it's become such routine, but I weigh myself before I go to bed at night, and I weigh myself first thing in the morning. So I know how much water I'm floating throughout the night. And I think that's really important to know how hydrated I actually was throughout the entire day. Because if I only lose like 2 pounds from the time I go to bed to the time I wake up in the morning, I know I was dehydrated during the day before.
Yeah, I mean, floating is important. I mean, I check my weight all the time when I'm behaving. if I'm off the plane, I'm like, I'm good on that thing for a while. But yeah, and when you're floating over 2, for me, if I'm floating more than 2 or 3 pounds while I'm sleeping, then I'm sitting right as far as my water intake. And just warming up for a workout, I'm just pouring sweat. Mm-hmm. That's when I know I'm hydrated. When I'm like, I can't get a sweat rolling. And then you think back to, binging on pizza and wings. That's why.
Right.
Yeah.
And how much alcohol did you have the night before?
I don't drink alcohol.
Okay, Mr. Bar owner.
So you went to college. What was your major?
Well, I tried to get into the business school, and I did not. I wanted to work logistics, but I didn't. I ended up getting my degree in advertising, and
that's what brought you down here.
Yeah, so I got a job at Brandon Advertising, of all things, in Myrtle Beach, and that was back in 2003. and they offered to move us down here. And we're like, we're fresh out of college. We had really could go anywhere we want. We wanted to be on the East Coast. We didn't want to be where it snowed, and we didn't want to be in Florida. So, and we didn't even know Myrtle Beach was in South Carolina, we had no idea. So we just took a leap of faith. We packed everything in the dog in a U-Haul and towed the car down and started our life here.
You know what's crazy is how many times people said, like, when we moved from Jersey to Myrtle Beach, they're like, where are you moving to? And I was like, Myrtle Beach. And the funniest thing, how many people say, Florida. Nice.
Yeah, right.
And I don't know why so many people think Myrtle Beach is in Florida, but they're like, I love Florida. And I was like, I do too, but we're going to go to South Carolina.
Yeah.
So I had to Google, is there a Myrtle Beach in Florida?
Yeah. No, people had no idea, and myself included. I had no idea, except for when I interned. I interned at a rock radio station in Lansing, Michigan, and my boss was from Myrtle Beach. And I was like, this is the craziest thing. But she never said South Carolina. So when I was like, oh, crap, I was like, it's in South Carolina. I had no idea. So anyway, now I've been here for 18 years, and my kids are natives. So
yeah.
I guess we liked it.
So you come down for marketing. How did you open a bar? Like, how did one day you guys just say, like, let's open a bar? How does that happen?
Well, the short story is I wanted to work in advertising. I loved it, but I wanted that fast-paced Madison Avenue, New York City advertising. And here it's a little different. Like, we're a little laid back, as you guys are learning quickly, and it was a little slow. It was a little slow for me as far as the content and what we were doing. It felt repetitive. And I felt like there was a ceiling I was hitting, of what I could do. So my ex-brother-in-law and sister, they were moving out from New Hampshire and opened up their pizza place here. They sold it there, and Cynthia and I helped them open it down here. And I just loved building something from the ground up. So I told Cynthia, I was like, look, we're not making money anyway. Let's do it. I wanted to open a pizza place, or like a video rental store. Thank God she talked me out of that one. And
Thank God.
She's like, if we're going to do it, let's do something we are good at. And we know, let's open a bar, like a sports bar. And I was like, all right. So we begged, borrowed, maybe stole, and got enough together to open our bar in 2004. And it's still cranking. We didn't really think we'd make it a year, to be perfectly honest with you, but we built a pretty cool thing.
What were the first couple of years like?
Well, I'll tell you, the first few months were a lot of tears and a lot of what the hell did we do, and bringing our dogs with us and having an employee bathroom because we had no employees, and we had no social media back then. So when we opened, it was like, turn the lights on. I mean, we put a strobe light on the roof, like trying to attract attention because we couldn't afford traditional marketing. And we slowly built it up. Actually, Tripp, who just came in here like a maniac, he was a GM of Outback down in Murrells Inlet back then. And that was that's how I met him, actually. That was our first big crowd of people that would come in regularly. And we started building the service and building it up. And then we started making a little money, and it became fun. And we turned our first profit in the third month, which was like insane.
Wow.
And that was, so we opened in August. So that was like November, December. And then it kind of gave us motivation to grind through. And we started, my sister started bartending a little bit, and then it started taking off. It was tough. I mean, don't get me wrong. When I say taking off, I meant like the tips we were making was just barely enough to keep the lights on, but it felt good. It felt like we were creating something.
I think that's one of the scariest things when you own like a storefront and you first open, and like the first day you just open your doors and then sit there and then just like wonder, like, is anybody ever going to come through these doors and hand me money and want something in return? Or am I just going to sit here for days and months and years on end and nobody comes in?
We still talk about it to this day. There's no guarantee when we open the door. It's not like Starbucks. Like, there's going to be a line. Like, there's no reason, and if we don't stay motivated, stay on it, stay creative, that just because we open, there's 1,600 bars in this town. There's no reason for anyone to come see us unless we're providing something that they want. And it's an uneasy feeling. Even after 16 years, you're like, damn, we better come up with something good coming up, or else you get stagnant and boring and people are like, go to the next one. So
and that's spoken like an entrepreneur right there. Like, you have to be creative. You have to keep changing it up. Look at the next best thing and like keep grinding it out. You have to hustle.
like every bar has 4 walls and TVs and beer. I tell people all the time, it's what you do, how you treat people, the people you have there representing you. That's what makes the difference, because you can get a cold Bud Light anywhere. You got to make them want to do it with you. So it's relating to people is super important, I think.
I think you're right. Like a lot of people, and I think when you say like a sports bar, like to a guy, like, hey, do you want to open a business? What about a sports bar? Like to me, that seems like the coolest and like most fun type of venture to go on to. But it's the same thing. You can rent out a building, you can get distributors to bring you alcohol, put some bar stools around, and then never fill the seats. So it's kind of like that atmosphere. You know, there's plenty of places that have bar stools and beer, and it's hard to create that vibe or that like fun energy that gets people to keep coming back in day after day after day.
Yeah, and it's not hard. Easy. Sometimes it's very, it's like planning a party at your house when you're in high school and having the fear that nobody's going to come to your party. That's like every day. You know what I mean? It's like every day. It's because you try to do something, you're like, oh man, it wasn't that good of a night. Like what are we doing wrong? You know, you feel like, man, I saw that other place was busy. So yeah, it's tough, man. It's 365 a year. You feel like you're planning a party and hoping like hell people will show up to it.
How do you think social media help business-wise at all? Huge. Like the start of Instagram and the websites and all that type of stuff?
Massive. I remember the first bands that we booked from out of town we found on MySpace, which was, they had like their song playing and they had a professional person do it. I was like, this is the coolest shit ever, like by far. And then Facebook came out and I was like, that is so boring. That's never going to fly because it's all white backgrounds. And then, I mean, the amount, not that I love the people behind those things, but the amount of communication and relationship building we can do with social media platforms is, and it still shocks me to this day. And I know we've talked about this, bars, for example, or restaurants that have no social media presence at all blow my mind. It's free. Yeah. It's free to post a picture of what you do, or
it's
entertainment
any business lineup. At this point. Like if you're running a business and you don't have the social media side of it down, you're just losing clients and money and like business. And it just blows my mind.
I mean, even like on like a consumer standpoint, I like to go to a restaurant and actually like post a picture of my drink or a picture of my food or a selfie when I get there, whatever. But if you don't have something to tag, you're missing out on all of the people that are posting about
before
it.
we go to a new restaurant, like you were telling us about restaurants today, like before you go to the restaurants, it's cool to go to their social media to see what it's like. Like before I go into a brand new restaurant, I want to see what other people are posting. I want to see what they're posting, see like how I should dress, see what the vibe is like, see what it looks like in there. So, I mean, a lot of people use it. It's like going to like TripAdvisor before you go on vacation. You want to do a little bit of research sometimes before you go to a brand new restaurant.
Yeah, you can totally read the vibe by a simple Facebook page on what they're posting and what people are talking about with it. Gives you an idea of what you're walking into. And then to be honest, if they don't have one, it almost feels like they don't care enough to even, and I know that's unfair because some people aren't savvy with that stuff. But like you said, if you take a picture of the food. Yeah, I mean, you take a picture of the food, and you go to tag them, you're like, what the hell? You don't even have a Facebook page? Like, it's
there's businesses now that just hire people to run their social media. Like I get that as a business owner, you can't do everything. You can't order the food, you can't do the scheduling, you can't also work there, you can't do the social media and do all of that by yourself. You just have to start to hire out and have people start to do other jobs for you. Like you can't be the bartender and do the books and do the scheduling, and serve the food and cook the food. So,
well, that's what they say. Successful people surround themselves with smarter people. I think it's money well spent. Yes. If you're not good or savvy with a computer to hire that out, and you'd be amazed. Like simple little gimmicks we did at the bar, like checking in to get tickets for this little drawing we do. Our numbers went through the roof as far as impressions and everything, just by people being like, "Hey, I'm here." Well, your friends see you there, they're like, "Oh, well, what's going on?" And then, it really took off for us. And it cost us $100 a week, which is peanuts compared to what it brings in. So.
And talking about vibes. So if somebody comes down to Myrtle Beach and they're looking for bars or whatever, and they hear us talking about this, how would you describe what your bar is? How would you say that to somebody that's never been to your bar, to Island Bar and Grill? What would it be like when you walk in there?
It's like a cool bar you expect in your hometown, right? Like we're 95% locals, but everybody brings their friends from out of town or their family. it's just a little bit of everything that you want, I think, in a bar, with live music, sports, good beer, good drinks, not, moderately priced. I think our food is far better than what we charge for it. But
Yeah, I
I
think
want people. Go ahead.
And I'll describe it too as an outsider point of view. I mean, we do go to your bar often, I would say, especially since we've been down here. What I like about it is I feel like when you walk into the bar, like when we walk in, it's almost as if like everybody in the bar turns around and sees you come in and they're all like, hey, welcome back. Like it's like the same group of people.
Like cheers.
Yeah, like she always says, it's like cheers. Like everybody knows your name. And I'm like, if you say that one more time, you're gonna be limping home or walking with a black eye. No, but it's like I feel like it's like a more of like a locals crowd. And it's very like it's like a calm, peaceful environment. It's fun. It's not like I want to say it's not like a tourist, like crazy, insane place. I think it's just a fun place to go. There's live music, and it's like you see the same group of people, and you feel kind of like safe in there. Like it's like it's like walking into like your high school again, where you see everybody and you're happy to see people and stuff. It's like fun,
Yeah.
I think that's how I would describe.
I mean, I think it is a local crowd. But it's very welcoming. There are some places you walk in, you're like, whoa, like the record's like shit. Well, okay, I got you. I'm out. But no, I think people are really welcoming. We're blessed with a great staff that is welcomes everybody, with open arms, tries to get to know them and get a name, and it goes a long way. But no, I mean, I don't think we are not fancy. There's no like frills about it. We're a sports bar. We try to do what we do well. We try to under promise and over deliver with our food and our beer, and I think it speaks for itself. And the people, without the people, the quality of the people coming in, it wouldn't matter, because if we have a great place with a bunch of assholes, hanging out there, then people aren't going to want to hang there. So we're lucky to somehow figure out a decent formula. Knock on wood.
Being at the bar, has your wrestling background ever come into play there?
Yeah. Well, back before, so when we first opened, people would find out that I wrestled in college, and they would always want to like test it, And granted, I was like early 20s, so I probably wasn't exactly not wanting to test it too. So we used to do a lot of 3 a.m. clear out the tables and let's wrestle. A lot of rug burns. That ended. I accidentally broke somebody's arm and had to pay some bills. So that ended.
Oh, no.
That ended the fun part of it. But to be honest, once I started competing MMA, no one's really messed with me too much. Well, you were there one night, but nothing ever came of it. So
yeah,
I'm a lover anyway. I'm a happy drinker.
Yeah, I still push your buttons as hard as I can. I'm still waiting one day to like wake up in the morning with a black eye and hungover and be like,
him
what did I say? Was it at least funny?
No, it's bound to happen. Happen. A leg kick for sure.
Right.
So bringing up like the MMA stuff, how did you transition? Like, I know we talked about like you wrestled in college and then you moved down to Myrtle Beach and you opened a bar. So like, where does MMA come into play? How did that, where did that come?
So I took 9 years off of anything remotely athletic, to be honest, I was so burned out after college. It's funny. I worked for a beer distributor in college and wrestled. And when I got done, I said, I will never touch a case of beer, stack a case of beer, or do anything athletic or lift a weight again the rest of my life. And then my whole life is beer and athletics. But no, I took off my 20s and I was starting near my 30s. And it was funny because I was watching The Ultimate Fighter and I was like, is that Rashad? Like a guy I wrestled with in college is on the damn Ultimate Fighter too. And I was like, okay, well, MMA, UFC wasn't that big then. So I was watching him, following along and being like, I'm like, dude, this is awesome. And then Gray Maynard was on Ultimate Fighter 5. I was like, all right, everybody I used to wrestle with is trying this out. I really want to get one crack at it as a bucket list before I turned 30. And so I started training. I started going to the gym between classes so nobody would see me. And then I took a fight in 2011, went down to Jacksonville, Florida, and ended up winning. And I swear it was like an addiction, like the biggest high ever. I was like one and done. And I was like, wait, can I do it again? Like, so yeah. And it's been, it's coming up on 10 years, I've been doing it. So still cranking along.
I know you said your parents have been supportive throughout the years, but what about the rest of your family? Does the rest of your family get supportive with this?
Yeah, they love it. I mean, you guys know my sisters, and if anyone's ever watched a video of me fighting or wrestling, you can hear my sisters because they are crazy. Especially Melissa, my oldest sister. Sometimes I think she's gonna climb the cage and be in there. But no, they all are super supportive. Cynthia has been great because, I mean, as you can imagine, it's time away from the kids, time away from the business. I have to train with weight cuts. I get cranky, and they've all been literally. I've said it since I started. If my parents or my wife or anybody was like, "Listen, I think you should wrap it up," like, "What are you doing?" Then I would, honestly. But I have such great support and the system around with everybody, and they encourage it. A lot of people talk shit like, "Dude, you're old. Like, what are you doing?" But a lot of them are like, "Man, if you can still do it, do it." So as long as they support me and I'm not getting hurt or missing out on important life things, then hell, I mean, I'll keep doing it until they tell me not to.
What about the kids? Have they seen you fight yet?
Not live. Not live. They've gone to a couple weigh-ins, and actually Aria went to one that was like really bad, like fight broke out, whatever. She wants to go so bad, but and I would even think about taking them, except for the after party is at one of my sponsors at the Dollhouse, Myrtle Beach. So not
what
taking
is that? Is that what kind of place is
Is
that?
that where they put dolls together?
Is it?
I'm confused.
They build them, maybe. I don't.
It's like Build-A-Bear, but no. No, it is the premier gentleman's club on the north end of Myrtle Beach. So we'll be there after.
We might have actually been there once. I think for research purposes, I believe with you.
I do recall. I do recall that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. We did check it out, and it turns out it's a great place. So we'll be going back.
Yeah,
they were very welcoming there.
They are. They are always great. Yeah. Especially the guy that grabbed your butt. That was perfect.
Yeah, I forgot about that. So you just. I hope he's doing well.
He is. I'm sure he is.
Him soon.
Yeah. So I have a question real quick in the chat. Your thoughts on the Jake Paul versus Ben Askren fight coming up?
Man.
Who's winning that?
Well, in a fight. I mean, I still think Ben Askren. I mean, he's an athlete, But I will say,
if it was an actual fight, like an actual fight, who wins?
Oh, Ben would murder him. I mean, it's just like Conor McGregor and Floyd Mayweather. If they actually fought, like it would be over immediately. A leg kick and a takedown and beat him up on the ground, But I will give Jake, like, they're putting it in. I mean, he's putting work in. I've watched his workouts and his strikes look crisp, but Ben's an athlete. And the thing is, Ben's not a great striker, but you're still going against a guy who has fought some of the best people in the world for 15, 25 minutes, going against somebody who's kind of doing this as a hobby. I mean, I would be absolutely shocked if Jake Paul beat Ben Askren in anything.
Now, if I had the exact same skills as Jake Paul, would I get that same fight? Or is this strictly because as a promoter, they're giving Jake Paul this fight because how much money he will bring to this arena, to the sport?
They've done a great job of building their brand. So I can't knock them for that, corny or not, or for whatever reason. They built an audience. Now, if you had it, there are far more deserving fighters to fight Ben Askren, but it's not about the fight itself. It's about the draw. I mean, yeah, they have a huge following. Hell, and the only thing I'm upset about is I'm fighting the night they're fighting. So, you know what I mean? Like, I want to watch it. They take my money. Yeah. I mean, they would get mine even though I know there's some silly elements to it, but the trash talking and I think I love it. Give us something to watch, someone to hate,
Same person, different question. Would you recommend CrossFit to fighters to help with performance?
With proper technique, absolutely. But I think CrossFit with proper technique goes without saying. Yeah, I mean, the great thing with CrossFit and my gym where before I had kids and I was there all the time at Fitness Edge MMA, they have one half is CrossFit and the other half is jiu-jitsu, boxing, wrestling, all that. And there's crossover constantly. Finish your WOD, go over and do jiu-jitsu. I think the explosive movements, the power, it goes hand in hand with, you know, if you picture a fight, especially grappling, you know, you shoot in and you're exploding up. That goes hand in hand with a lot of those Olympic style lifts. So I definitely think CrossFit's a huge benefit for fighters.
Is there a lot of weight training with fighters in their like programming and conditioning, or is it mainly just cardio?
No, I think it differs. You know, some people don't, they just want to run, and I don't know, I don't want to speak for the Diaz brothers, but someone like them, they do triathlons and all that. I don't see them doing cleans and all that stuff, lifting. Some people really like, God, I can't think of his name right now. He's about to fight for the UFC lightweight title. But if you watch him, he's always doing absolute like heavy weights and explosion. I think it's all what your body reacts the best to. Like for me, like straight up benching, heavy lifting doesn't work as well as body weight, fast motion, high intensity. Like HIIT training for me is what gets me there. You know, like lifting, I can like look better, but.
And I think a lot of people look at CrossFit as like only like a way to work out, whereas like CrossFit's really like a company and a brand, but you can do the stuff CrossFitters do and call it, like you said, HIIT training. Like you can do burpees and do like
conditioning,
do time on, time off, and you can call it like conditioning or HIIT training and not call it CrossFit. And people think that's totally different. CrossFit is bad, HIIT training is good. When really like CrossFit adds sometimes like Olympic lifting, which I get isn't for everybody. But I think you could take like some of the modalities of CrossFit and just call it boot camp. You can call it HIIT training, and it's almost like one.
I use it with my clients. I don't say like you're doing a CrossFit workout today. I'll say, okay, this is your Metcon. And a Metcon is less scary than telling somebody that's not into CrossFit that they're doing CrossFit. So it's like to play on words.
There's a stigma, you know, for some people it freaks them out and other people it gets them excited. But I mean, it's get up and move. You know what I mean? Work out and get your heart rate up. So that's the biggest thing. And I was guilty of it for years before I was, you know, go to the gym and just, you know, and then get on your phone and do a couple curls, get on your phone. But if your heart rate's never up, what the hell are you really doing? You know, so I like getting in, get after it, get your heart rate as high up to, you know, 190 as you can while you're working out and pumping it. For me, that works great. I'm just not as strong as you. If I was as strong as you, I'd be, you know, doing all this shit. But
are you talking to who are you talking to with that?
Definitely not you.
He's talking to
no, definitely not, Chris.
What are you doing this Saturday? You want to go out and get some drinks or what? Busy?
After, absolutely. Yeah, so I'm fighting for Showcase MMA right here in South Carolina. You know, with all this pandemic stuff going on, it's my third fight in 7 months, man. I feel super blessed to, with half the world still shut down, to have the opportunity to do this. So yeah, I'm fighting. It is outside along the Intercoastal Waterway up in Little River, which is a really cool. It's going to be a cool venue, and it's a full card. There's 14 fights, and fortunate enough to be the main event for the third card in a row. So. And it's kind of a grudge match, which, you know, I don't need much to get me motivated just because I love competing. But this one is a little extra saucy for me. You know, this is the third time I signed a contract to fight the same kid. So I feel a little extra.
How did the other fights with him go?
Well, the first time he pulled out for whatever reason. Second one was for King of the Cage in Georgia. And we did weigh in and we squared off. And this was part of their baseball stadium tour. King of the Cage did. Well, they started it in Southern California, and it doesn't rain there. So coming here, they didn't have a backup plan. And it rained all night, the night we're supposed to fight. And they rescheduled it for that Monday, and he couldn't stay to fight. So for whatever, I don't knock him for that. A lot of people couldn't stay until Monday night to fight. So that fight was off, and now finally we are back on. Let's hope so, man. Different weight class. I just pray he shows up. So
what weight? What do you normally fight at, and what are you fighting at on Saturday?
I used to fight at 135, and Father Time keeps grabbing me. And no, I fight at 145. That's my comfort weight. And this one, he refused to cut any weight. Said he would take the fight, but only if we fought at 161 or 160 plus one. So at first I was like, let's do 155, make it like a weight class, you know, make it lightweight. And I said, nope, it's either 160 plus one or nothing. And I was like, whatever, dude, it doesn't matter. It's the same guy. So this has been a really weird fight week for me. like really weird. Like to be honest with you, it's messing with my scheduling and my tempo a little bit, but it is what it is. I think I'm just too damn happy for fight week because I can eat all the time. So
You have so much energy.
right. I feel like I bounce off the walls. Normally, what is it, Wednesday night? Yeah, we wouldn't be doing this interview normally. I don't think. I'd be cranky.
Yeah, and that's why I asked you about it. I was like, are you good to do this on Wednesday, like right before your fight? And you're like, yeah, let's do it. And I was like, if you don't want to do it, we don't have to. Because I mean, you said you've had 3 fights in the last 7 months, and we moved to Myrtle Beach about like 8 months ago, and we've been to all 3 of the fights.
Yeah.
And so I've seen you the week before all of your fights, and the week before your fights, like sometimes I question why we're still friends with them.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah, but we know what to expect.
I apologize for that. Well, the last one was tough because those fights were 6 weeks apart, and so I mean, I was pretty much like in camp for like 15 weeks. You know, I think it's hard, especially owning a bar. I don't know if you know, but bar life and MMA prepared life is like polar opposites, and the bar is a shitload of fun. So it just, I mean, I try to do my best to not be cranky, but it's hard. I mean, when you're calorically deprived, and it sucks, you know, especially when you don't have to do it.
Mentally too, is especially when you're like depleting yourself with hydration or calories. I think like mentally, like it's tough. Like it just starts to shut your brain down. Your body's just like begging for food. It's starving, you know, so it's just, you're just not.
There's a lot of like, why the hell am I doing this? Like, you know what I mean? Like, what are you doing? But you know, the opportunity to compete is all I ask. And that's why I do it. And that's what gets me through the weight cuts. Unfortunately, this one I don't have to, so I'm happier than shit, and I'm confused. And I just can't wait. I can't wait to go in with a no weight cut and perform. I feel like it's going to be like just going into sparring, you know, or hopefully it should be great.
A question in the chat from a Mr. Trip DeForest. If you could finish someone with any move, what would it be? And it must be MMA related.
MMA related. Oh man, spinning back fist knockout. I would love it. Just hey Trev, that's a good picture right there too. I like that. It's a boss picture.
Yeah. He never actually looks like that in person.
No, you saw what he looked like in person.
Yeah.
No, spinning back fist, it's been talked about since my first amateur fight, and I was scared to death to do it. And I hate turning my back to people, but man, I would love to throw one and just see somebody fold up. Yeah. Maybe this Saturday we'll throw one out there. Baker, if you're watching, watch out for the spinning back fist.
I think you're not supposed to. I don't know anything about fighting, but maybe don't tell your opponent what you're going to do. Like,
yeah, but maybe I tell him and he's like, there's no way he'll do it because he told me, and then I do it. Like,
right. He's like, he's not going to do it.
Yeah, I like that.
No, maybe he's now thinking, I'm thinking this, so he is going to do it.
So it's the double not thinking. That's how you get him.
Oh, man. Now I don't know if he's actually going to do it or not.
I'm going to watch for it, though. I'm going to film it.
Yeah. Me either. So we're good.
So we talked about bar life, fighting, all this stuff. What else are you into? Any more jobs?
Real estate, right? You guys know.
So how's that working out? How do you go from like owning a bar to being a family person to fighting people to now saying like let's get into some real estate?
Well, real estate came about. Yeah, it was like 2 years ago. I remember. So Trip, who you've already met a couple of times, and my sister Jules. Trip used to own an Outback. He actually stepped away from being a proprietor of Outback. What's up, Jules? To jump on with Jules with her real estate career. And then like a couple years ago, she was so busy. And I was like, you know what? I think I have time, even with the bar. And a big thing about having the bar business is it's volatile, right? You never know what could happen. You don't want anything bad to happen, but Jesus, it's just a very high risk career business. And with the kids, and I was like, just thinking one day, Jules is like running like crazy. And so I texted her, I was like, hey, what do you think if I got my real estate license, and came to work with you? And she was all about it. And I was a little worried what Trip would think. And I hit him, I was like, dude, are you kidding me? He's like, come on. So, I started doing online classes at night while the kids were in bed. And then it took me like 9 months. Then I got my license, and I love it, man. I just enjoy helping people, enjoy looking at properties and checking out. I don't know. I love it far more than I ever thought I would. So I'm a numbers geek. So that's part of it, I've had.
So being licensed, where does that allow you to like list houses and help people buy houses? Is it the whole state of South Carolina, or how does that work?
We're
Like a
in
state?
Orion, Georgetown County, so like these coastal, like the Grand Strand area. We can refer anywhere in the world, you know. So if you have somebody looking in California need an agent, we can reach out and find an agent. But like Jules just got licensed in North Carolina, so now she can go over the border because, of course, that's only an hour away. But yeah, for me, I'm right here along the Grand Strand in.
So mainly like the East Coast of the Carolinas, like that type of stuff, right?
Yeah, Orion, Georgetown County is where it is, and it's big. There's a lot, and as you guys know, this area is booming.
Yeah, and beautiful.
Especially with and and I love it here. And you've been here 18 years, but with the pandemic and a lot of people getting out of the Northeast, they're flooding in, and it's booming. Property values are going up, and things aren't staying on the market very long, and it's an exciting time here for sure.
Is that where most of your clients are coming from? Like just Northeast, everybody just flooding from the north down to the south?
Yeah, I would say like Indiana, Ohio, and like up to the Northeast. Should I do that backwards? Either way. Yeah, most of them. That's where I would say they're from. And occasionally get some, like I've had some from the Pacific Northwest. It's just difficult with travel and things are moving so fast to get them a place. But yeah, the Northeast is my bread and butter. It's where we're from, and there's a lot of people moving down. So we're excited to welcome them here.
BRG, that's what you're drinking out
Oh,
of, right?
yeah. Did you guys see my cup? It's from BRG.
Shout out.
Shout out.
BRG.
Jules
The
and Trip are gonna be
DeForest
so
team.
happy. Yes.
Ready in
wait.
editing. Here comes.
We only got one.
We only got one.
Jules, fire up a second one.
It holds like 33 ounces of water. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. How much tequila does it hold?
30.
Wait till Sunday or Saturday night.
Oh yeah, you guys will already be hammered by the time I'm done. We
You know
already
us
had
too
the talk
well.
though.
Yeah. So if we're ready to start buying some real estate, we are able to hit you up. How do we do that?
Yep. You can hit us up at thedeforestteam.com. And then if you look right here, Chris has put my phone number in editing, post-production.
No,
but you can,
I now have to write that down to remember to do that.
No, you can find us, believe it or not, we are on all social media platforms. So you can find us on Instagram. You can find us on Facebook. I have my personal page, but the DeForest team is where everything funnels through. So yeah, look.
So if somebody DMs me, I should send them your personal phone number, right?
It depends on if he or she is cute. No, I'm just kidding. Depends on what they want. Don't share my number for anything. Yeah, I'll tell you. I put my personal number and real estate stuff on our bar glasses. Actually, for tonight at the bar, Wednesday night we do the craft beer night, and I've gotten some very strange texts in the middle of the night from random people because they have my phone number. Nothing to do with real estate either, but yeah, getting it out there is cool. So yeah, definitely check out. And it's BRG Real Estate is our parent company, and the DeForest team. We're doing big things. Jules and Trip are leading the way, and I'm honored to be learning with them. So it's fun, and we do everything: commercial, investments, residential. So whatever you want, bring it.
Man,
is that a good sales pitch?
And I said I was talking to somebody today too about it. Was like when you work for yourself or you own your own business. Because we both stepped away from regular like corporate America, like regular jobs, working 9 to 5, punching a clock, where you have a guaranteed paycheck as long as you don't get fired. To when you start to work for yourself or own businesses, like I work so much harder. We both do. I think you as well.
Like around the
clock.
Like
when you work for yourself and you have to go out and like earn your paycheck, or like the harder you work, the more money you make. Like it's a rabbit hole. Like, if you tell somebody like the harder you work, the more money you make, I won't stop working. Yeah, it's just like it's fun. I think it's much more fun than just going in and punching a clock anymore.
Oh yeah, totally. Well, and remember, you didn't want me to quit my job?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like that old cliche, like if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life. Like that's sort of what it feels like. Especially being self-employed or entrepreneurial, you get to go after what makes you happy, or what you enjoy. And that's the great thing that I found, 3 things, 4 things, as far as, being a dad is amazing. It's the coolest. Coaching them and watching that is by far the coolest thing. And, in the bar, I'm proud of where it is. There were some years that I wasn't proud of, the state of the bar, but now I am, and it's going well. And real estate, I'm loving it. And damn it, I'm almost 40 and still punching dudes in the face for free, or for legally, I should say, not for free, not for free. Edit that out. And yeah, so it's cool, and still time to hang out with you guys. We go out and we do dinners and stuff. Knock on wood, it's a pretty damn good life, and I'm not one to complain about much. So
yeah, and you don't look a day over 45.
Thank you. That's what I've been told. 45, 44 is pretty good.
How you get hit.
Yeah. Shout out to the some blank and beard company for the sweet oil.
Yeah, and it's funny, like the beard company. I remember somebody said to me once, was like, like we started the beard company a few years ago, and they were like, I wish like I would get lucky and like do something like that. And I was like, and none of this has anything to do with luck.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like somebody started a company or a business and just handed it to me, and then I just sat here and collected money. Like everything, like anybody can do this. Anybody can go out and start a business or start a side hustle. Like, it's not luck. It's like, go out and like work for it. Go out and get it. Like if you have a 9 to 5, but you have like a passion on the side, it's like start that side hustle and build that thing up until a point where maybe you can pay somebody else to run it and then do it again.
It takes a little something in you, and I don't think everybody has that. You know what I mean?
Agreed.
It takes a lot of discipline, and you don't know how many times people have been like, especially when we first opened the bar, because looking back at pictures, I wouldn't believe we owned the bar either. But people are like, oh, it's so nice your parents gave you a bar. And I'm like, oh, thank you. That's not how it happened. But, my parents fully supported. And I offered, I think, Dad, I don't know, are you still watching, Dad? We offered you an opportunity to get in as a partner. And he said, you guys are crazy. So
well, he's the self-elected mayor of that bar. I swear, like
he
every
is,
time I go in there, like he
gives the best hugs.
Yeah.
Shout out to Tim.
Yeah, I've never gotten one of the hugs you get.
No, neither have I. It's odd.
Yeah.
And he always he hugs from backwards and just reaches.
It's weird.
Around
He always tells me. I always say, "How are you doing?" And he says, "I'm better now." Every time he sees me, I don't know.
Yeah.
What the correlation is.
When you hit a certain age, you can say whatever the hell you want, I think, and he knows it. Once his beard turned white, he's like, "I'm in." I can say,
yeah, I can't wait for mine to go full white.
He's like, I can say the most perverted shit I want, and they're gonna be like, "Oh, he's such a cute little old guy." He's like, he knows. I think he was dying at white in his 30s.
Yeah.
So we covered the bar, we covered fighting, we covered real estate. Are we missing anything? Are we missing any other I don't think so, right? I think we covered.
Yeah. Well, what about you guys? Huh? You enjoying your new pool?
Got the fence put in today. Pool's pretty much done. Loving like this South Carolina vibe. Like everybody's like,
Kristen just won her CrossFit.
I
Yeah,
did that. But I let me tell you, I feel not like a winner. I'm so sore.
Hey, that's awesome though. Because I'm getting towards my competition. I saw what you were going through. I can't wait. I hope we get to
you have to ride my wave.
I'm telling you, it's good. So
one thing I'll say, like, quick, somewhat funny stories. When we decided to move to Myrtle Beach, we were like, it was like very spontaneous. Like we bought a hot tub for our house in New Jersey. We sat in the hot tub, and like the first day we were in, it was like nighttime. We're drinking, fooling around. We got a little handsy, but that's neither here nor there. While we're in the hot tub, we said, like, I wish we could do this like year round. It was just so beautiful out, but like Jersey gets cold. You have like Memorial Day to Labor Day, and then it's cold. So we were like, let's go south. So we said, we picked a city. Let's go to Myrtle Beach. We decided to drive down here, and we got a hotel. And our hotel room was next to the big Ferris wheel on the beach in Myrtle Beach. So we got here late at night. It was like midnight. And we were like, let's go get some snacks and some food so we can eat while we're in the hotel room. So we went like any normal person at 2 a.m. We went to like Piggly Wiggly in Myrtle Beach. And so what I'm getting at is how like nice people are in Myrtle Beach and South Carolina, I guess. I guess once you just get south, people are very friendly. So we go to Piggly Wiggly. And it's 2:00 in the morning, and we're like just checking out, trying to buy some cereal and milk and breakfast foods and whatever. And the guy checking out behind me, there's like only us in the store. And I could feel him like standing next to me, just staring at me. Like, when somebody's just looking at you the whole time. And like, so finally I like look over and I was like, what? And he had like bleach blonde hair. He's probably like 25 years old, tattoos like on his throat. I think it like had a dotted line and it said like cut here. Tattoos all over. He's wearing like a wife beater shirt. And so immediately I was just like, was judging him. And I was like, what? And he's like, what are you doing? Or how are you doing? So then I immediately look at Kristen. I was like, this guy like messing with me? And she's like, I don't think so. So I look back. I was like, what'd you say? And he's like, I just hope you're having a blessed day. So then I look at Chris. I'm like, he's definitely messing with me. He's like messing with me right now. And she's like, I think he's just being nice. And so I was like, you trying to start something? And he's like, no, man, I'm just trying to just say, hope your night's going well. And then I like looked at Chris. I'm like, grab your stuff. Let's get out of here. And then like later I learned that people are just nice down here. But like when you have that Jersey or New York mentality and you come down here, it's a little bit different. Like,
well, yeah, because everybody up north has an agenda. So if somebody says hello to you, it's because they want something in return. We're down here, like everybody like we go for a walk around the neighborhood and like just stop and talk to people. We would never do that in New Jersey.
Yeah, you don't talk to people. Like if you visit New Jersey or if you visit New York, don't just talk to people on the side of the road. Like you'll end up on a milk cart.
We had wine with you guys when we first met.
And I didn't even want to do it. Like I had anxiety about doing it.
Yeah, that's why we were drinking.
Still regret it to this day.
I know.
I totally regret. I still can't believe. I remember your daughter was like, she looked at me. She goes, I can't believe my parents went inside your house. And I was like, what? She's like, they don't go into people's houses. I was like, oh,
we don't like should I be worried? We don't really open up. Yeah. We're kind of closed off.
Yeah, so it is different down here. Things are very slow down here. Like you can't, when you need something fixed or worked on around your house or anywhere, like people are very slow. They'll fix things on their own time down here, but everybody's very nice about it, so you can't get mad at them.
Right. Yeah.
Tomorrow. One question from your sister. I don't know if there's anything in between this or between the lines, but how did you meet Cynthia? I know we talked a little bit about Cynthia in the beginning. Is there any funny to this, or is there something we should know?
Yeah. No, it's great. Actually, this is how I would like to see Cynthia later. No, I was riding.
Maybe we should bump the brakes on this one.
No, it wasn't. It was. Oh, well, I don't want to think about her at that age, but yeah, it was a long time ago. But no, I remember a buddy of mine, I think Brent Plummer. I think we were riding our little BMX bikes down the road, and we looked, and these girls were mooning cars as they were going by. So literally, I looked over and I was like, "What in the heck?" And he knew them, and I didn't. And then we went over and ended up getting introduced. So yeah, like I saw Cynthia's bare butt before I ever saw her face. It was love.
Why did we never hear this story before?
I just realized I'm like I've never heard this.
Yeah, I had forgot about it until my wonderful sister brought it up. But yeah, that's how I met Cynthia's booty. That's when I fell in love. Didn't even know her name.
I was gonna say it was love at first sight.
Yeah, well, there was 3 girls, and I was like, which one was in the middle? Like, it was her. That's the one. That's the one.
It's mine forever.
But she was dating somebody, so I had to threaten his life to get him to break up with her.
So that didn't work, and then he waited till she was single. And
I waited till she broke up with him because he didn't care.
Awesome. So we just hit the we're getting good at this. We just hit the 1 hour mark again. So so I think we shouted it out. What we'll do is we'll edit this video. We'll get it up on the Hustle and Muscle Podcast YouTube channel. And in the description, we're going to be linking all your information from your social media to your real estate stuff to your bar. So if anybody comes down and visits Myrtle Beach, they can go check out Island Bar and Grill in Surfside. And what are you, like 10 minutes away from the Myrtle Beach area? So
yeah,
definitely able to stop in. And, if somebody comes in and they say if they say they saw you on the podcast and they're from out of state, you can get them a round of drinks on us. How's that sound?
That sounds good.
As long as they're getting something free, like water, then it's all.
That'll work. Hey, no, I'll tell you what. The rest of the next couple of days, if they come in and mention the Hustle and Muscle Podcast, give them 10% off that next tab on us.
Aww,
that'll work. Bring it. Hey, and I want to give a quick shout out too, because the company still are sponsoring my old behind, and my 2 title sponsors for this fight, if you don't mind, is Black River Distillery out of Pamplico, South Carolina. They make their own vodka and is awesome. The owner developed it overseas when he's in Saudi Arabia, and you can look up the liquor laws in Saudi Arabia. It was a pretty risky proposition. So they are my title sponsor, and then my other brother-in-law with Gutter Techs, Seamless Gutters. They are my other title sponsor for this fight. So shout out to them. Thank you guys. Hope to do everyone proud this Saturday. So should be fun.
I'm excited. I can't wait to see it.
I can't wait. I can't wait for Chris to lose his voice.
And I am going to make sure that I am much more sober during this fight than the others, because I remember the first fight. Your first fight was my first fight, my first MMA experience ever in person.
Yes.
And I went a little bit too hard, and I got a little bit too overzealous.
Almost got kicked out.
And then Oh, I lost my earbud. And then the police had to actually ask me to settle down and calm down and say polite things when you cheer. And I said, well, how do you, like you're at a very barbaric event. People are in a cage, like fighting each other. That's my fighting. They're fighting each other.
This is why you don't get in.
Yeah. And like,
cage.
how do you like say nice things? Like, how do you, I mean, it's just so barbaric. Like if you haven't been to an MMA fight, I went to my first hockey fight or my first hockey match, and that was pretty intense. MMA, whole nother level.
Like for this one, just nice things about me, not so many negative things about him.
See, that's how they should have explained it. That would have been a lot better.
Just yell Bushaw over and over again. It'll be fine.
But I won the belt. You guys were my lucky charm for the first one. So
yes.
I won't talk about the second one. Charleston, wherever the hell you are.
You know what? That was a rough fight.
Yeah.
It was, but it was so much fun. Hey, 4th round, championship rounds, kids undefeated, tough as nails. Honestly, it was the most fun I've ever had, even though I didn't get to retain the belt. It was such a blessing to be able to do. I honestly can't explain it. It's weird, come off a loss and be like, that was amazing. But that's why I'm a little deranged and I'm still doing it. But yeah, I can't wait. I want to get back on the winning track this Saturday, and I cannot wait.
We'll have to have you back on the podcast to update everybody on how everything goes. And we're honored that you came on took an hour out of your night, especially right before the fight and everything. So I want to thank you again for doing that. I saw you with your gallon of water, so make sure you stay hydrated. And I think I'm most impressed that you were able to keep an earbud in those cauliflowered ears this entire time. So that I think is a big victory.
I would love to have stereo sound, but it's not going in this one. Look at that.
God, it looks like a hamburger patty.
Cynthia likes chewing on it, though.
Does it have any feeling at all?
It's not even cauliflower ear; it's bite marks.
Yeah, do you feel any of that right now?
Not really.
Zero
not
sensation.
Not till it gets all messed up. Look, it's turning red already just from touching it. But no, hey, I appreciate you guys having me on, and congratulations on the podcast. I know you were talking about it a while back when you were doing your live videos, and I think it's cool as shit. So
yeah, we're having a lot of fun doing it.
Yeah.
And the hustle and the muscle is it's true. So keep grinding, you guys, and we support you all the way. So keep it up.
All right, man.
Same to you.
Thank you very much, and go get some sleep, go get some water, and we will catch you this weekend.
Yeah.
All right, Cynthia, Daddy's coming home soon.
See you later. Love it.
All right, I'll see you later. Other than that, I think that's it for tonight, right?
I think so.
So again, huge shout out to Brandon Bushaw for coming on the podcast,
and a huge good luck.
Yeah. So we will keep you. Make sure you follow on Instagram. Follow both of us, and
we'll
I'm sure
posting
you'll
all
see
about it on
how
Saturday
goes.
for sure.
So, thank you guys again, and we will catch you guys next week. Peace out, everybody.
Bye.